Hola! Today we are going to talk adjective agreement. So this is what we have from the book, and it says, remember that adjectives describe people, places, and things. And in Spanish, adjectives have the same number and gender as the nouns they describe. This is very different than English, where we don't have to change our adjectives to describe the people, and typically they come after the noun. Es un estudiante bueno. He is a good student.
Okay, let's take a look at some Spanish adjectives. So on the left, we have our singular adjectives. So remember, these are typically placed after the noun. And remember that our adjectives agree in both gender and number with what we are describing. So serio is the masculine adjective. To make it plural, we just add an S. So serio becomes serios. Un chico serio, unos chicos serios. So it's pretty easy. Typically in Spanish, when a word ends in a vowel, to make it plural, we just add S. Deportista is a little tricky because we can use it to describe a boy or a girl. Un chico deportista o una chica deportista. So it's the same, feminine or masculine. To make it plural, add S. Trabajador, hardworking, that ends in a consonant. So any words in Spanish that end in a consonant, to make them plural, you will add es. Un profesor trabajador, a hardworking teacher. Unos estudiantes trabajadores, some hardworking students. Paciente, it ends in e, so that's a vowel. So if we're going to make that one plural, we're going to add s. Una chica paciente, unos chicos pacientes. So paciente can describe a boy or a girl. It's feminine or masculine. Joven, like paciente, like deportista, can be feminine or masculine. Una chica joven, un chico joven. So now that ends in a consonant. So to make that plural, we're going to add es. And so notice that jóvenes needs an accent mark in the plural form. And that's about it for our adjectives. Well, no, that's not it. Here's more with Miss Duplichin. Sorry.
All right, well then it's the exact same thing that we just had, but this time we're talking about the feminine forms. So where we had serio for the masculine, it now becomes seria for feminine. And if you're plural with both people being feminine, it becomes serias. Deportista, as we just talked about, is the same for un chico deportista, una chica deportista, but when it becomes plural, again, it's the exact same. So you kind of have to know who you're talking about on this one because we don't know if it's masculine or feminine. If you notice, trabajador was the masculine form. However, trabajadora is a singular feminine form. And then, unlike trabajadores, it becomes trabajadoras, is the plural for both feminine. And it's interesting to talk here that if you do have a group of people and there is one masculine, one feminine, you automatically go to the masculine. So all these feminine plural forms we're talking about are only feminine. It has only to do with girls. And joven, jovenes, again, is the exact same for boys and girls, along with paciente and pacientes.
So you guys will notice that in general there's a pattern where the masculine words end in O and the feminine words end in A. There are some where they don't follow that structure, but in general, masculine singular will be O, plural will be os, feminine singular will be A, and feminine plural will be as. For os, sometimes, so say I wanted to say chicos bonitos, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's all boys. It might be 5 boys and 2 girls. It would still be los chicos son bonitos. And that's something that you guys need to keep in mind, that the os can apply to a boy and a group of boys and a girl, or a mixed group of people, you're going to use the masculine plural form. So, ahora tenemos algunos ejemplos. Primero, Liam es bonito. You guys notice that there's an O at the end. We're describing one boy. Ahora, los chicos son, you're going to add the S, bonitos. Ahora, para chicas, ahora tenemos ella es bonita. It's going to end in A. And now that we have a group of girls, las chicas son bonitas. But if we had one boy in that picture as well, it would change to los chicos son bonitos. having one guy changes the way that we need to apply the adjective at the end. It needs to become masculine.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that anytime you see the as ending, it can only be feminine. There is no masculine contamination.
Señor Busta. ¿Cómo es Señor Busta? Señor Busta es simpático. So he's a guy, there's only one of him, and he's nice, simpático. Los chicos son simpáticos. So here we have a group of men, and so we have the plural masculine form, simpáticos. Señora Davidoff, whoa, that's me. Señora Davidoff es simpática. I am nice most of the time, and you notice we put an A at the end. That's just me. Simpática, one woman. Las chicas son simpáticas. So now we have a group of really nice girls, and that is the plural feminine form of the adjective. Simpáticas agrees with the chicas.
Now we're going to take time to practice some of what we've just gone over and see how well you understand. At this point, it'd be a good time to take out your vocabulary sheets and your notes and get ready to answer these. So this would be a good point to pause the video, take a few minutes and try and answer these 5 and see how well you understand. All right, now that you're back, hopefully you've already paused and answered. Here are the answers. Ellos son. So if you look at unorganized, you would know that the word from your list is desordenado. Once you take desordenado, you look over at ellos and know that we're talking about more than one person, and since it's ellos, we know that it's going to have to agree and end with the os. So the correct answer should be desordenados. And again, if you got this wrong, you might want to take a second and pause, make sure you get the rest of them right. El gato es nice. The word is simpático, and it's el gato, which is masculine singular, so we just leave it as simpático. The next one is él es, and the word is athletic. So the word for athletic is deportista. And if you remember, because it's deportista, even though it's a he, this is one of the vocab words that does not end with an O, so it always ends with an A. Las maestras son patient. The word in Spanish is paciente. And if you notice, it says las maestras. The word patient ends with an E, so we don't need to change it to an A. However, we still need to make it plural. So it's pacientes. Señorita Rosenwinkel es short. In Spanish, the word for short is bajo. But now we're talking about a girl, so we have to make it agree. Feminine, baja. There we go. Please come to class tomorrow prepared with any questions you have on things you got wrong.